had you been working, knowing Maisha had the contract up, had you been working on that for a while, or
no.
Did that kind of come to that?
No, that came together this morning, actually. I know you had asked her questions yesterday and kind of set her back a little bit. We had no discussions particularly we had general discussions with 6 or 7 teams about all of our players in a sense. I mean, when you're in this situation, teams call about this player and another team calls about this player. We had not had any kind of specific trade for Maisha until probably 9 o'clock this morning. And so, I think Minnesota was probably, looking at different options for themselves. Mai's name had come up a while back, but there was any specific discussions about any parameters of a trade with them until this morning. We had another team call about her later last night, and we said no to it. That's kind of where we ended up.
We've talked.
Rumors are rumors. Reality is what happened, in that time. And I know it's hard for players to believe that, oh man, you must have the trade going. Reality is you just listen and you figure out, does this help my team or does it not? And this morning we decided, and in Maisha's case, if I were Maisha, she's getting to go play for a playoff team right now and have a pretty good role. I think she's done a great job for us. I mean, she's been a big part of what we've done in the 7 years that she's been in the league. She's been a part of a championship. She was, second team all-league in the bubble. And then she had some unfortunate injuries. But right now, we know that other players are playing more, and here's a chance for us to get something, that makes sense.
We've kind of talked about it even since the last free agency period. Picks and cap flexibility. Is that essentially what you're trying to give to have options in these next couple seasons moving forward?
No question. All hell is going to break loose in the league after 25 if the players opt out, which everybody expects that they will. There will be over 100 unrestricted or restricted free agents in one fell swoop in January of 26. That's a lot. Teams need to be prepared for what that looks like and also have some good young players under contract. Teams that can have some rookie contracts going at that point will help themselves with cap room. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but I think you have to do your due diligence to be prepared for all kind of situations.
Obviously some moves today. I guess as coach, how do you kind of, first off, kind of have that kind of conversation with the team? Maisha has been here for so long. It's been, such a big piece of the winning that you guys have had here. How's a move like that kind of affect you and the team and kind of that kind of part?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I'd just like to say thanks to Maisha. Publicly, obviously, we've talked to her privately, but for everything she's given us here, it's a huge success story when you have a second-round pick contribute to a championship and then have the type of season she did in the bubble that year, and not just individually, but I've got a real soft spot for everybody that went through that bubble experience with us together. We all kind of got each other through, and has bounced back from her injuries to contribute the last couple of years, and I'm glad she's going to a good situation with a team that's contending, and we wish her well, obviously, and nothing but the best down the road. So it's weird. I mean, it's tough for players and staff in terms of people have long relationships with her. It's hard to separate the personal and the business sometimes. And it's not ideal having to be on a game day. We haven't even had a chance as a full team to convene yet since the trades went down. So weird. We're all kind of working through it in real time. But that's why we're all professionals. We'll turn around and get ready to play tonight.
Mystics fans, think you know what it takes to be part of the Wiz Kids or Wisdom Senior dance teams for the Washington Wizards? Be sure to come to tryouts and show us those moves on September 14th. Busy night,
turnovers.
Yeah.
Um,
Every which way.
Crept up at the worst time as you guys were trying to rally. I guess that was the biggest, knife in the side tonight.
Yeah, we had a bunch of early. I thought we got them under control better for a lot of the second half, and then had another bunch there at the end. You know, even a couple that we didn't turn over, but I think we had like a 4-on-1 break that we didn't convert. Executed well on out-of-bounds play, and it goes off our foot out of bounds. Just, you know, a couple possessions obviously we'd like to have back, as well as you know, finishing a little bit better around the rim. But other than that, I think I couldn't ask much more effort-wise tonight. You can feel the energy in the building change, and you have people diving on the floor and flying into the bench, and it's what I want to see. It's what our players want to see, and it's definitely what our fans want to see.
Shakira got loose. It looked like kind of more of herself. Can you see her trending and getting more comfortable and confident in herself?
For sure. I've really been encouraged by Kira in the 3 games since the break. She's not playing perfect basketball. I mean, she wants a few plays back tonight of her, you know, the turnovers and stuff around the rim, but she's playing so hard. Just so mobile. You know, she just feels like at times like she's everywhere on the court. You know, seeing her dive on the floor for a loose ball and a crowd of people. You know, I don't think she does that if she's not feeling pretty good. So, you know, now it's just about growing and making good plays. You know, I love the way she's aggressive and going at the rim, and I think our team's feeding off it.
And last one for me, just kind of in a frustrating game where there's turnovers and you guys kind of got down a little bit, but to see the way, and I think they're led by Kira and Ariel kind of came out. You know, is that the kind of stuff that when we talk about building, is that kind of the stuff that you're talking about?
For sure. And I think after, you know, we didn't defend great the other night, and Seattle got on a little roll early tonight, kind of the back half of the first quarter, to dial it back in defensively and really make them work for their points the way that we did. You know, I think that's what this team can be. You know, we're not perfect, turned it over too much, fouled a little too much. You know, we talked before the game briefly about this is an opportunity for this group to play together. You know, this group still has not played together very much, and you know, we're trying to kind of do it on the fly, and but you're seeing signs. You know, you're seeing signs, especially the connection, the way they're feeding off each other energy-wise. You know, that's definitely trending the right way.
Back to the turnovers. It's
great.
It's been something that's been a theme throughout this season. Where do you think kind of the root of the issue might be stemming from a little bit? Because at this point, I mean, I know you're still trying to work in Slim and Kira, but those aren't the only situations where turnovers are popping up for this team.
No, they're not. I mean, we have a few different types. A lot of it's our passing. We put a real emphasis on working on our passing because we clearly need to. Passing, catching, timing, moving screens are still turnovers. You know, I think we had a couple where the guard's going too fast or the big tries to move late. It's the stuff that drives coaches nuts, but you know, I don't get to sulk about it. We got to work on it. So, you know, things like letting our bigs handle the ball, like there's going to be some growing pains doing that stuff. But we know at the end of it, as they develop, we'll get something out of that.
You mentioned Shakira's aggression that she's had, especially tonight. How much is that just the style of how you guys want to play and have her just go downhill towards the rim? How much is it just Shakira just taking the ball and trying to take advantage of her matchups?
I mean, it's her game, I think. You know, she's got stuff that she can do, handling the ball and spinning and facing up, but I think you see the great players, their bread and butter is if somebody can't stop me going right to the rim, I'm going to start there. She's got that length, she's got the ability to go off either foot. I think she's going to get her power and her balance back here as we go. But, you know, you put your opponent in foul trouble, you get yourself to the line. She shoots 15 free throws, I thought, because she was just aggressive and on balance a lot of the game. So, you know, it's a great starting point.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Julie had 6 assists tonight in less than 20 minutes. Seattle was blitzing her and showing hard edges as well. How do you think she's handled aggressive coverages like that, not just tonight, but in the season in general? And then what does it say about her as a player that teams are willing to give her that energy on the court?
Yeah, I don't think it was just her that got that. I mean, we saw blitzes on Ariel and Slim at times too. You know, playing as long as she has in different leagues and everything, she's seen a lot of different coverages and defenses. She was kind of joking tonight, like, if you hedge me, you know, I'm gonna get us an advantage. And I think maybe as the season has gone, she's gotten a little bit better about not predetermining what the open pass is going to be. You know, early in the year, I thought she was going one dribble and deciding where she was going to throw it. And tonight, she let it develop a little bit. She hit the roll sometimes, she hit the skip sometimes. You know, it's great to have because it lets us get Slim off the ball a little bit more. We can play her and Jade together. You know, it really gives us some flexibility to have another guard that can make plays.
And then you mentioned pregame talking about Maisha's absence, Emily possibly getting back into the rotation. How did you think her minutes were tonight? And then how has she stayed ready in practices, kind of waiting to be back in the rotation?
I mean, I already hear her talking about doing her, you know, her extra work tomorrow. I think she's found a kind of a routine that works for her to keep her mentally and physically ready. Made some great hustle plays and energy plays, offensive boards, and then I think it was, if I remember right, the chain sequence of her chasing the loose ball, Shakira diving on the floor. That's a lift she can really get us. And I thought she did a good job defensively against tough matchups tonight, you know, both staying in front of their guards and battling with their bigs.
Coach, on Saturday you talked about wanting to get Kira and Aaliyah on the floor a little bit more together, and I think we saw a little of that tonight. Just talking about what you liked, didn't like from the day before the end of the night.
Yeah, it didn't feel like as much tonight, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Definitely a little bit. You know, it's Seattle bigs being as active as they are, you know, really helps to have two mobile posts out there together, covering a lot of ground defensively, especially again against two guards and Jewel and Skylar that can really probe, but both of them are good at moving their feet, staying in front of the ball. Offensively, we're just trying to work it through. Who's rolling, who's cutting, where should we space? Some good things and some things that are just going to have to develop kind of as time goes, playing together more. So we want to keep giving them those opportunities to play together.
And then third game back for Slim, she did a little bit of everything today, 9 points, I think she had 5 boards, 4 assists, something like that. Can you just talk about how you feel about her progress as she's been coming back from the break as well?
I think each game now we see some signs of kind of things that look like a healthy Slim. You know, she had a block tonight. She was in passing lanes more. Guard Skylar at the point of attack, and then when she was off the ball, being in gaps and causing disruption. I think those are the things that people picture when they think of her game. Offensively, she's trying to get her timing, her balance. You know, she saw some good plays, like nice in rhythm pull-ups, and then a couple where she was leaning and off balance. And I think that's probably the last thing that is hard for players to come back. Is just, you know, especially somebody who's attacking so much, is when do I just need to slow down and get off balance? So yeah, I think that'll continue to come.
Thank you, Coach.
What worked so well for you two in the second half? You know, you guys kind of get turnovers and kind of got in a hole, but you guys kind of really would have been easy to kind of say, okay, we're shorthanded today and all these other things. But you guys kind of really kind of pushed back, and I'm curious kind of what was the conversation, or is that just kind of you guys going out and saying we're not going to lay down?
Yeah, I just think we got back to us and stopped turning the ball over and made the simple reads. I don't think, honestly, it was anything that they were doing so spectacular in the first half that took us out of who we were. That's all on us. I mean, I feel like we had almost like 20 turnovers, 22. That's crazy.
Kara, how are you feeling? You seem like every game we see you seems like you.
Definitely just trying to still figure it out and learn on the way. It really sucks, you know, having to kind of learn in the games, obviously, especially in the middle of the season, about to finish up. But I mean, when we figure it out, it's going to be great. But right now, it's just it's tough. I mean, 8 turnovers, that's really tough for me. So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out balance of, you know, just continuing to be aggressive and, you know, obviously layups I feel like I should make. But at the end of the day, I do have more balance, and I am going up off of 2 more, and I, you know, can go either way a little bit more confidently now. So, you know, I'm just continuing to try to progress and like I said, just add on each game.
And last one for me, just for either or both of you, you know, what's the challenge of trying to get everything together on a day like this, where obviously there was the trade earlier. You guys are down to 9 players. You guys have been really close with Mai, and are still really close to her. So just trying to get ready to play a game when all this stuff kind of happens in the morning/afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Most of our pregame talk was just about what just happened, so it's kind of hard to shift, but that's where we're at. That's what happened today. There's no excuses for it, but I think we still came out and played aggressive. I think we were locked in. It's just we just failed a little bit.
Kind of picking up on that, Ariel, I'll start with you. Just with Maisha being traded, what does that feel like for you, and what are you gonna miss the most about having her around? And Shakira, if you want to answer that too.
I mean, more than anything, Mai's my friend. It's hard to me. It's not hard. Well, it's hard for me personally to meet just super genuine and be able to find somebody you can let your walls down with and actually create a friendship, more so a family. So obviously it's tough for me. We've been together since literally day one of being here in our careers, but I'm more than happy for her. She's in a place that she's going to be able to flourish, going to be able to grow, and her role is going to be able to grow as well. Our organization did what they thought not only was best for her, but was best for us as well. And like today, we had a pregame speech, and like Kira said, like obviously it's hard to switch gears on something like that because I mean, transparency, it is emotional, to lose somebody like that. I like to say she's part of the glue of our team. She's great in the locker room. I mean, y'all know her. She's just a good time to be around, just a great human overall. So it's definitely tough, but at the end of the day, we do understand it as a business. And whoever has that jersey on, we got to go to war with them. And so that's what we tried to do tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie and just act like, oh, it's just business. It's hard.
Kira, anything you want to add on that? Ariel, picking up kind of on, you talked about her being, kind of the glue and thinking about how your locker room culture has been all season, how strong it has been. How do you guys, make adjustments maybe with her out, or kind of like keep that going, fill in what you're missing in that respect?
Yeah, I feel like, you don't try to replace anybody, You just continue to be yourself. I think even with my leaving, I still think we have a really good locker room. I think we have good people in our locker room. I think we're learning how to figure out how to hold each other accountable in different types of ways, trying to, hype people up, also talk people off the ledge. Like there's things that we obviously still are figuring out. We're still adding Slim and Kira back, regardless of how people feel. They've played 3 games with this in totality, with them feeling comfortable with their bodies. And like she just said, she's just not getting comfortable going off 2. Like there's a lot of things that we're still trying to figure out as a team. But I think personality-wise, our locker room, it's a good energy, it's a good vibe. We're just trying to fight for the next day.
Thank you.
Kira, I have one for you. You mentioned your aggression and being able to attack the rim. How is that mentality kind of helping you kind of get back to where you want to be on the court?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I had a conversation with myself during this period, and I just made a promise that I wouldn't step back on the floor without being 100% myself. And I felt like regardless of the injury, like I struggled with that the past couple years, and I didn't want to put everything on my shoulder, but I know who I am, I know what I'm capable of, so just going out there and just continuing to prove myself right is really my mentality.
Tonight, career in points, career high, and via free throw attempts too, and drawing fouls. Just what was the battle like for you tonight? Because as you said, this may not be something you've had to deal with over the past several months of having this much contact and this much of trying to figure out certain ways to score and be aggressive.
Yeah, that's part of my game goals is getting to the line and trying to make that like a home base, like a kind of a reset for me. Still trying to get there with the finishes, but getting to the line in general just means that I am on balance and I am playing through physical contact, because earlier this season I was so scared of contact. I'm fading away at 6'5", like every layup. So just to see that progression and to have the coaches have that mentality, like, hey, we gotta get to the line, I need at least 10. So that's just where I'm at with that.
Thank you.
Ariel, coming out of half, I think you had 3 or 4 of your 5 total threes in the game. Can you just talk about what the mindset was for you coming out of half, trying to keep the game close?
The first half, I don't even know who that was playing, if I'm being honest. and as good as my teammates are, they're like, keep shooting, hey, like you can do it. In my head, I'm like, I'm playing absolutely terrible right now. But you know, blessed to play a game that has 2 halves.
Amen.
All right. Thank you very much.